Boy oh boy, do we have a bombshell today. Yes, it's bombshell, yes, it's insane, yes, it's crazy, yes, it's wild, yes, it's every other word that people hate to see in YouTube titles and thumbnails these days, but it's bombshelling. And if I don't get a bombshell in the comment section from this video, then I don't know what will ever be more deserving of a bombshell, as the Mosul UFO or orb video is now public information via a Freedom of Information Act. Now, you may remember back in, I think it was 2023, Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp released a snapshot of the Mosul orb, right? And it was captured over Iraq back in 2016, but the full video had not been released whatsoever. Until yesterday, when the full video was actually released and was caught by someone who put in a Freedom of Information Act, fought through the litigation, won it, got the video, and has released it to the world. This is said video, and then we're going to talk about it. Now, obviously, it's got striking similarities to that of the Boogosphere that we've seen circulating from Colombia earlier this year, right? But this goes way beyond that, because this has been in the rumour mill for a very, very long time. So, it's just a 4-second clip. Obviously, that was an extended version that I've just shown you, because it was slowed down just to kind of get a better grip, an idea of what it was. But it was captured over Mosul in Iraq on April 16th of 2016 at roughly 9:47 a.m. UTC. Reportedly by a CIA reconnaissance aircraft. The video was released publicly via the Weaponized podcast, and following, well, became public information following a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit, which was filed by investigative journalist Dustin Slaughter, who's got probably the best name in the world, against the US Air Force and National Air and Space Intelligence Center, otherwise known as the NASIC. And the footage shows a metallic spherical object, obviously moving slowly without visible wings, rotors, or propulsion, defying conventional explanations. Now, the background of this is even more intriguing than that of the video itself. So, a still image from the video was actually first shared back in 2023 by journalist Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, sparking interest within the UAP community, as you can imagine. And the full video was, of course, obtained by Slaughter's FOIA litigation, which he discussed on the Weaponized podcast with Corbell and Knapp, which dropped yesterday. Now, the object is described as a, quote, metallic orb, which moves with apparent intent and maintains altitude without discernible propulsion, ruling out earlier theories that this was a puddle or a lens artifact, as that was what was kind of getting thrown around the rumour mill when this image was first released by Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp back in 2023. And the US military and intelligence community classify it as a UAP. Obviously, you know, that's quite a big deal. Unable to identify it. And the release has seen it as a victory for UAP transparency, with ongoing efforts to secure more footage. Now, obviously, as you can imagine, the internet's got their hands on it and have, you know, thoroughly attempted to debunk it. But as of right now, the theories are few and far between. I think people are just kind of captivated by what they've seen. But this, like I say, was released on the Weaponized podcast on an episode entitled The Return of the Mosul Orb UAP. What does this mean for transparency? Weaponized episode 81. I highly recommend that you do go over and check out the full clip for yourself and the full video. It's not one of their longest ones. It's only about 30 odd minutes, but they sit down with Dustin Slaughter to kind of talk about everything that goes on. But within it, obviously, they released the initial video, like we've already seen. They talk about how the still image was captured back in January, or was released back in January of 2023, sorry. They talk about the FOIA litigation and how difficult that actually was. So, you know, it was actually, like we've already stated, obtained by the investigative journalist Dustin Slaughter. But the lawsuit was actually filed back in 2024. After a request of 2023, right? So this has been in the running for about two years, roughly 2 or 3 years. So, you know, this is quite a big deal. But the video, obviously, as we know, shows this orb similar to that of the Booger sphere that we've seen coming out of Colombia. There are other spheres that are coming out, but nothing quite like this. There was an initial analysis that was conducted by Joint Base Langley and NASIC, and the video also included a classified UAP briefing by the Office of Naval Intelligence on May 1st of 2020. And the video was part of a 2021 ODNI preliminary assessment on UFOs, which analysed 144 cases explaining only one. We talk about that for a second. Obviously, 144 cases analysed, labelled as UAP, and only one could be explained. And this is one of the videos that could not be explained. So there's 142 other cases and videos that have not been explained. Now, obviously, the big push for investigative journalists like, like people like we've just seen, like Dustin Slaughter, George Knapp, Jeremy Corbell, all the rest of it, this is going to be a huge boost in their efforts, because if they've won one, they'll be like, right, we can push on for the next, and we can get a bulk load of videos potentially together and release them to the internet, which would help with UAP transparency. At least that's the idea that is kind of discussed within the podcast. Now, obviously, there are always going to be challenges and uphill battles when it comes to this kind of thing. Obviously, this was a 2-year litigation to try and just release one single video, which is tough graft. It's tough graft. But the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or ARROW, was criticised for not releasing the video earlier, instead releasing a similar looking but unrelated footage describing it as sleight of hand. So, you know, catching strays there are ARROW from these investigative journalists. Many people kind of back this sentiment, being like, why wasn't this released sooner? You know, if you've got it, why not just pump it out? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's there. And if an investigative journalist can get their hands on it and can go through an FOIA, litigation, surely it'll be so much easier for ARROW, who are supposed to be the poster boys for transparency in the UAP topic, to just get their hands on it, release it, and just, you know, let the world do what it needs to do with it. It's never that easy, though, is it? Now, the release obviously sets a precedent for the FOIA litigation to obtain UAP-related materials, with Slaughter's success attributed to the tendency of pro bono legal support. Now, the release is seen as a victory for UAP transparency, as is discussed within the podcast, encouraging more targeted FOIA requests and the flood zone to force government disclosure. Corbell and Knapp plan to work with Slaughter to pursue specific UAP files, leveraging legal strategies to access more government-held footage. Now, obviously, how successful they are is yet to be seen. The government has their ways, I suppose, of kind of shutting this shit down before it gets too out of hand. This video was most likely deemed one of the lesser concerning videos, maybe. But obviously, you know, these guys have seen this as a huge win, as in my opinion they should. They've obviously released it as well to the general public, and this is kind of what Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp had to say about it when they released it on the Weaponized podcast.
This is an example of one of the UFOs that our military and intelligence community is looking at. It's just one of many images. This one is actually a still from a video. It's a brief video, maybe 4 seconds, where this orb, or this metallic looking ball, runs alongside a spy plane, and
obviously this is the still image that they're talking about. This is the one that was released back in 2023. This is, as you can imagine, why people thought it would be a puddle or a lens flare of some description, because obviously from this still image it does look just like that. It's like just literally off the curb. It does look like it could just be a puddle with the light refracting off of the puddle, but you know, now with the video, we've got greater context.
It is shown in this footage moving alongside the plane without dropping in altitude at all.
Essentially, what we have here is a video that the UAP Register obtained through FOIA litigation, which is Freedom of Information Act lawsuit, essentially.
Very, very interesting stuff. What do you guys make of it? Is this, just another dub for the UAP community? Is this a bombshell? Let me know down in the comments. I am really refraining from putting it in the title, ladies and gentlemen, so please just let me have that little win. It's so bombshelling. Let me know what you guys think about this, of course, down in the comments as well. While you're down there, jump to get the hell out of that like button and subscribe. Until next time, I'll spook you later. Peace!